This is a group project case study of the 1998 Illinois-California Backdraft incident for the Fire Protection Technology, Fire and Behavior 105 class at Miramar Community College. Group members are Joe Martino and Spencer Anthes.
This incident occurred on February 11, 1998 in a tire service center in Illinois, California. An unexpected backdraft resulted in the tragic death of 2 firefighters and left 3 others injured. At 2224 hours, a 911 call was made stating that there was a fire inside the tire service center. Upon arrival at 2228 hours, the first-in unit reported no smoke or flames showing from the building's exterior. 8 to 10 firefighters entered the front doors into the service center's showroom, where they reported only a light haze of smoke and the smell of a vehicle burning. Firefighters then advanced into the building's service room and encountered black smoke covering the top third of the ceiling space. However, no firefighters were able to detect any heat or flames. As firefighters advanced farther into the building's interior, a truck company arrived. Before making their way to the roof, the truck firefighters noticed that the windows were dark and smoky, and upon shattering one of the windows, dark smoke poured out. The firefighters created a hole in the roof where black smoke ventilated until it turned into heavy flames. Simultaneously, the interior firefighters had spread out through the service room in an attempt to find the source of the fire. They reported poor visibility until the smoke and hot gases that had accumulated along the ceiling suddenly ignited in a backdraft.
I'd like to take a moment to explain what a backdraft actually is, since that's what our topic revolves around. A backdraft occurs when fresh air is suddenly introduced to an oxygen-deprived fire. This creates an explosion or intense rapid flames emanating towards the source of oxygen. This could be a doorway, window, or ventilation hole. Typically, a backdraft will occur in an enclosed area. When a fire has depleted most of its oxygen, the flames will die down, but the fuel will still burn in a smoldering state. All smoke is the result of incomplete combustion. The darker it gets, the more incomplete it is. In regards to what Spencer mentioned earlier, the firefighters noticed thick black smoke pouring from the cracked window. This is a sign of the fire in a smoldering state, which explains why the fire could not be located. This diagram illustrates how firefighters advanced through the structure. Beginning at the front door of the showroom, they advanced 15 through 20 feet through the service room. From there, they began to spread out in order to find the source of the fire. This incident occurred at approximately 10:30 p.m. at night, well after closing hours. With all the doors and windows being locked, this creates a perfect environment for a backdraft to occur. Upon further examination performed by the city electrical inspector and an additional electrical engineer, the conclusion was made that the overhead garage door that leads to the service room was self-activated, opening moments before the backdraft took place. The garage door opening, introducing a large sufficient amount of air to the oxygen-deprived fire, was the last piece that was needed for a backdraft to occur. If you look closely at the diagram, you'll notice that there are 2 X's. These 2 X's mark the spot for the victims, or the firefighters, where they were found.
The backdraft resulted in a pressure wave that knocked all firefighters down. They became disoriented and began to panic as flames on the ceiling caused molten polystyrene insulation to drip down on them. Their escape was further complicated by the numerous vehicles in the service room obstructing their path, as well as the extreme heat and poor visibility. After firefighters escaped the structure, a head count revealed that 2 were missing. Multiple rescue attempts were made with no success. After 30 minutes, the structure's ceiling suffered a complete collapse.
This was a tragic event, but there is a learning outcome from all of it. A few key points and thought processes to take home are: an initial scene size-up should be conducted, including all variants. To give a couple examples, this could include weather conditions, seat of the fire's path, exposures, and building construction. The scene size-up is not a one-time procedure. It's actually ongoing throughout the entire event, and it can even be done after. For instance, what we're doing today is somewhat of a scene size-up. Locations and situations you have been to in the past or that you have learned from can help dictate your thought process on how a current or future incident will play out. Communication through command and the firefighters ventilating is essential because abnormal signs of roofing structure and or fire behavior should be coordinated with all personnel that is involved. This information might affect how the whole incident is run. It's important to relay information before and after ventilation is conducted. The location of the ventilation hole should be coordinated to the most effective spot in order to protect users from a backdraft that could be fatal. Having personnel inside a structure during ventilation operations should be avoided. It's never an ideal situation, but if this can be avoided, it will lower the risk for firefighters getting hurt and or killed. And in conclusion, signs for the potential of a backdraft as well as a flashover should be acknowledged, and if these signs are present, actions should be initiated to prevent them from happening. This concludes our project. I want to thank anybody that takes the time to watch this, and I hope that you learned something.